You can sweep the same floors for 9 years and no one will ever learn your name. You become part of the background, like the humming of the vents or the flicker of an old light bulb. Forgotten, unseen. My name is Rafik. I'm the night janitor at Zentech Global, one of the most advanced tech firms in the country. They work on things that even the news doesn't understand: AI models, financial security systems, satellite software. Big brains, big money, and I carry a mop. But what they didn't know, what they never bothered to notice, was the little girl who sometimes came in with me. The one with 2 big glasses and worn-out sneakers. The one they mistook for being just a janitor's daughter. Her name is Elia, and she was about to change everything. The day it happened, it was supposed to be an ordinary morning. Elia's school was closed for fumigation, and I couldn't find anyone to watch her. So I packed her a lunch, brought her with me to the Zentech building, and asked her to sit quietly near the server floor while I worked. Don't touch anything, I warned. I won't, she promised. She had her little backpack with her, filled with pages of printed-out code, a notebook of system maps she'd drawn by hand, and a hand-me-down tablet I'd fixed with duct tape and spare wires from discarded company junk. She was just 10 years old, but when the entire company system came crashing down 2 hours later, she wasn't a child anymore. The collapse started small. A single screen turned black in the data monitoring room, then 2. Then the alarms went off. Within minutes, the entire tech team was in a frenzy. Global data streams frozen. Backups are compromised. We're bleeding millions real time. We've been breached. Executives ran and shouting. Engineers were yelling across keyboards. Emergency lights kicked in. I had never seen Zentech in this much panic. My mop bucket tipped over as I tried to back away from the chaos. But Elia? She stood up and stared at the flickering screens. I saw her lips move. She wasn't scared. She was analyzing. Daddy? They don't see it. She tugged on my sleeve. Daddy, someone's inside the system. They don't see it. Elia, this isn't a game, I whispered, trying to guide her away, but she walked forward anyway, straight into the control room, while dozens of engineers scrambled out. She stopped beside a screen and said softly, "You're searching in the wrong layer." One of the men snapped at her. "Hey, kid, this is restricted, get out of here." But the head of DevSec turned to her, curious. "What do you mean, wrong layer?" Elia pointed. "The breach isn't from the outside. It's an internal protocol exploit. Your system's redundancy was overridden days ago." Someone laughed. She read that on the internet. But when she took the keyboard and typed 5 lines of code, the entire secondary server stack lit up. A few terminals blinked green. Who gave her access? The CEO stormed in. Gregory Vale, a hard man, ruthless, known for firing a senior VP once for answering his call on speakerphone. He shouted, "Who is this? Why is a child at my controls?" Before anyone could answer, Elia turned the screen. To him, "Sir, your system was compromised by someone inside your company, not from outside." They rewrote the backup logic with a mirrored delay pattern. They've been draining test data for weeks. Gregory stared at her, then at the lead engineer. "She's not wrong," the man whispered. How do you know this?" Gregory asked. "I watched," she said simply, "and I remembered." Everything stops. The entire room went still. No one argued. No one moved. Elia went back to typing. For 20 full minutes. She rewrote a portion of the system manually, locating the breach, quarantining it, rerouting the data safely, and reinitializing backup shields. All this while engineers hovered behind her, taking notes. She finished, stood up, and said, "The rest is clean. But you need to check for fingerprint trails in your senior developer logs. Start with Curtis Reed." Silence. Curtis Reed, the same man who just slipped out of the room moments earlier, was tackled in the lobby within minutes, he confessed later. He'd planted the code out of revenge after being passed over for promotion. After the dust settled, once everything stabilized, the CEO called a company-wide emergency meeting. I stood near the back, clutching my cleaning gloves as Gregory Vale walked to the stage and said, "Today, our systems didn't just crash, they nearly collapsed forever. But we were saved." He turned and extended his hand toward Elia. "By her." There was applause, then a standing ovation. I watched my daughter, standing on that stage in oversized jeans and a hoodie with duct tape on her tablet, look so small, yet bigger than anyone in that room. He gave her a medal, and then he turned to me. "You're her father?" I nodded, heart pounding. He smiled. "Then we all owe you a debt." The aftermath: they offered Elia a mentorship, a scholarship, a future. She got interviews from tech journals, invitations from 3 Ivy League programs, a personal email from a Silicon Valley legend, but none of it changed her. Not really. She still liked drawing network trees by hand, still asked me to bring home junk parts from broken desktops, still called me daddy when no one else was around. One night, as we ate simple roti at our old wooden table, I asked, "Elia, how did you know what to do?" She looked at me with those wide, thoughtful eyes and said, "Because I watched them for years." I sat quietly and listened. Everyone else was talking. I just watched. Then she smiled and added, "And you always told me, even trash has value if someone just sees it right." 3 years later, Elia launched her own company. At 13, backed by Zentech, she built the most adaptive AI threat detection system in Southeast Asia. Her name started showing up in TED Talks, keynote panels, government contracts. And me? I still clean. By choice. Because I'm proud of it. Proud that I got to walk beside her in silence all those years, sweeping, wiping, and dreaming, as the world looked the other way. Until they couldn't anymore. Until she made them look. The end.